Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to take you through the week ahead analysis. We're going to go through some news as well as some charts of interest. So, big data this week, especially on Wednesday, the 27th. We have the FOMC federal funds rate. Now, the FOMC or forecasts are suggesting that this is only going to be a 75 basis points move. And we have talked about the fact that due to rising inflation, this could actually be a 100 basis points move. And we've actually seen the US dollar fall lower recently, and that could continue this week, especially if we see that hike to 75 basis points, because that could disappoint a lot of investors. And the weekly chart at the moment for the dollar index, we'll go take a look at euro dollar, which is the inverse, but it's basically showing a potential pullback in the upward trend on the US dollar index. And that could suggest that there's a little bit more selling to come, and you can see that this may be the driving factor behind it. We also have some CB consumer confidence coming up, and it's looking to come in a little bit lower. That could be potentially due to the lack of spending in the market as well. So we could start to see that inflation hitting home, and seeing that basically people are less likely to spend in the economy. We also have some CPI data out of Australia. It's coming in here suggested at 1.9% and 1.5%. I do think that we'll probably get a slight rise here, which will basically solidify the recent RBA hike of 75 basis points. We also have some further dollar data this week, so the dollar is going to be the big mover of the week, but it's all going to kick off with that federal funds rate. Let's go take a look at the strength meter for this week. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of different currencies coming into key levels. Now, the Swiss franc and the US dollar look to have been some of the worst performing currencies of last week, and we can see that that has driven lower on the strength meter there. We topped out at the highs and we're starting to drop a little bit lower now. If, like I said, that news comes in for the dollar, we could see a continuation of this weakness in the short term. Kiwi has been, Kiwi and Aussie have rallied quite significantly. Again, that risk on in the market coming back in. We were down at these lows at the strength meter talking about watching for those reversals in the market, and that has started to come to fruition. Also, the pound bouncing from this low down through here, but pound is still a little bit weaker, I feel, across the board at the moment. But we are starting to see a reversal potentially forming. So we're going to kick off with Euro US dollar, and I do think we'll probably see a large majority of the week range. We are currently in this kind of 4-hour range through here. Looking at the weekly chart, we are in an overall downward trend. So if the dollar was to strengthen, it wouldn't be a surprise. We could see price jump through that parity point, break of these lows, and a continuation to the downside. If, however, the market has priced in, let's say, that 75 basis points hike, even priced in 100 basis points hike, then we could see a continuation of this retracement phase, because you can see we're in an impulsive retracement phase at the moment, and the retracement phase could end at these previous structure lows in here, which if price was to break above the 1030s, we could look for a move back to the 104s. Similar picture for pound then, so we can see again impulsive retracement, impulsive. Is this the beginning of a retracement phase? If it is, we could expect maybe a breakout to the upside and a move back to 122.15s. And if price does start to push to the upside, because again the strength meter suggesting that we are starting to see a bit of buying coming in back on the pound. We've also created new highs here, so we could see a continuation through this level, pull back and a move back to the swing highs just through there. Going on to dollar yen then. So interestingly enough, I've come across this market and I wasn't going to include dollar yen, but because the dollar's pulled back a little bit, it could offer an interesting pullback here. We can see that clearly dollar yen is in an upward trend, and I don't really expect this to change drastically, but price is making those higher highs and higher lows. But it's where is that new higher low going to come into play for the weekly chart? Is it going to be, towards this 135 area where we've seen lots of buying and selling in the past, or is it maybe this 130, 130, which is a previous structure high? If it is going to be this area in here, we could see this recent 4-hour trend continue to develop. Had a really strong bearish move going into Friday, so maybe we could expect that to continue this week. And if we were to see a pullback towards this 137.60 area, or this area where that selling began, we could see a continuation of the downward pressure just through there. I'd be a little bit cautious of trading below 135 currently. I'd wait for price to break that 135. If we were to trade below that, 130, 130 could be its next area of interest. Finally then, gold. This is all dependent really on if the dollar index is going to start to move lower, if the dollar is going to weaken this week. But you can clearly see again, we're in a bit of a downward move in an overall sort of range. Is this the start of the retracement phase now? We've broken through a couple of recent swing highs on the 4-hour time frame, which could suggest a continuation to the upside here. I feel like that dollar is going to need to weaken significantly. So if we were to see maybe a move back to the lows at 16.90, we could see maybe a reversal happening. If price was to potentially spike into it on the news event, that could be something you look out for. So lots to keep your eye on this week. It is going to be all focused around the US dollar. Are we going to see the 75 basis points move or the 100 basis points move, and how does the market take that information? Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave this one a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.